Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, hello, and good night.
Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to be here with you for Align with Purpose. And this is
Yes.
day one. We have so much that we want to cover with you each of the days. And we're going to go through a little bit of housekeeping and make sure that you have all the things that you need and introduce Alexandra so that you know who your point of contact is. But first, we just want to welcome you all. Thank you for being here. It's so great to see you all. Hi.
Welcome, welcome.
So grateful. We're going to say hi to everybody in just a moment. But first, we're going to introduce ourselves because there are a lot of new people. So I want to welcome all the new people who, if this is your first time here, let us know in the comments. If you are someone who's in our world and we know you and we love you, just type hugs and love because we know you and we've been in this space together. We send hugs and love to everybody all the time. If we were to see you in person, we'd be giving you a big hug right now. I said that to somebody at the conference that I was at. I've been speaking a lot over the last couple of days. And I said to them, they were shaking hands. They said, "Hi, I'm so and so," and I said, "Oh, I'm a hugger." And for a moment, some people were like, "Oh, right, yeah, we can do that," or other people were like, "I'm a hugger too," I just don't want to like put myself in that space in that way. So we're gonna give hugs and love to all of you, especially for those of you that are new. We give hugs and love for those of you that have seen us or been with us before. We give hugs and love to you too. But it's so nice to see you all here, giving so much light and love and goodness to you all. Do you want to introduce ourselves first and then we'll say hi to everybody?
Yes, let's
Yeah?
do that.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. So you can
perfect.
go.
Okay, good. So my name is Tara Antler, for those of you that are just getting to know me.
And I'm King Gabriel.
And we have been on this beautiful spiritual path of supporting clients and students for well over 23 years now. And every time I say that, it brings a smile to my face because there's been so many levels and capacities that we've supported clients along the way: inner healing, alchemy, transformation. We both started our journey in meditation. And Gabriel found meditation when he was 3. I found meditation when I was 14. And I feel like when it comes to our purpose, our path, we were talking about this the other day, our path was really almost etched in stone. It was carved in the contract right out of the womb. And I know that's not always the case for everybody. And our journey was that. And there's been layers. We're going to talk about the layers and the unfolding because in that time, if I fast forward to when we both started seeing clients and we started helping people really heal and alchemize and transform, then there was this layer that opened up where people were like, tell me more about this mind body spirit connection. Tell me more about energy healing. They didn't just want the qigong or the meditation or yoga or massage or reflexology, which is where we both started. They started to get curious about the next layer, their next level of what we are as energy. And so as our journey evolved in that way, we found ourselves doing more soul coaching, spiritual mentoring. And I'd say that that's been the bulk of, we still all do the other things, all the other wonderful things. It's just, I wanted to share with you that journey because this is really about you uncovering the layers of your journey, not from the past necessarily. It's important to know where you've walked and what you've done, but also we're going to start to uncover some new layers of your purpose because I feel like that's where the world is at right now. So we've worked with tens of thousands of clients. We've worked with more than 14,000 one-on-one clients and sessions over the 23 years. We were sharing our story of speaking on a stage in India in front of 26 million people. And we were telling this story. It was Gabriel's sister's boyfriend. He said, if it was anybody else telling me this story, I don't think I would believe them. He said, because where in the world would you get on stage and speak in front of 26 million people? I said, only in India. And it was such an incredible experience for us because it expanded our purpose. We've got our little ones here. It expanded our purpose. It expanded our message out in the world. And it really gave us an opportunity to share with the world in a different way, a different culture, our journey of meditation. And there's many, right? And this is about you also uncovering parts of yourself. So that's a little bit about us. We've done so many things, and we'll share and weave in some of the stories. I also want to introduce you to Alexandra because she's head of our client success team. She works with our clients intimately. She does client sessions. She's now teaching and facilitating. And I just want to give a little backstory on how we know Alexandra because we met Alexandra as a peer. It was a yoga studio that I had a business out of. My office was there, and Alexandra was a yoga instructor who was there at the time. And we would cross paths, right? In between, I'd be in between sessions, she'd be in between teaching her classes. And then we'd always like have these really cool, powerful spiritual conversations. And we stayed in touch over the years. And then she started to come in and she did some work with me and got to know Gabriel and I in our work. And she's had so many incredible expansion moments in her life, from moving to creating a family. Her husband is in this beautiful expansion with his business and world. And then Alexandra, when we came online, Alexandra came in and did many, almost all of our programs. And she just had this natural ability to integrate all the wisdom and knowledge that we were bringing forward, and then be able to relay it in a way to our clients that landed in a whole other way. And so we're so grateful, because this has been over 5 years now that Alexandra's been working with us and our clients. So Alexandra, we love you so much, and I'm so grateful that you're here.
Morning, guys. Oh, it's afternoon.
Hi.
Morning, afternoon. Yeah, I'm so grateful. I want to pop on and just say hi. So, for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Alexandra. I am a clarity coach here in the community. I'm also head of client expansion and development. And it's so nice to be able to connect and support our community, whether it's here in the larger group, right, in these workshops that we get to put on and support you guys with, and then also in some of the larger format programs I've been able to, like, over the last 5.5, almost 6 years now,
Mm.
move from, supporting people and stepping into these programs from my expansion and purpose perspective to, like, actually coaching and leading and supporting you in some of these spaces. So just keeping it short and sweet, but echoing what Tara is sharing with you guys, for me, my purpose, it has been an evolution. I didn't pop out of the womb knowing exactly what it is, the way in which I was meant to serve and show up. It's been like a really gradual evolution. I think that's why I can translate sometimes. Like, I download these really big, beautiful concepts that Tara and Gabriel bring forward and share with the community. And I translate it in a different way that sometimes lands. And we need that sometimes, right? In order to be able to have it land and align with us, and then hear it and bring it forward to the world. So we have such a great little trio in terms of being able to bring these concepts forward and share them with you guys. So I'm looking forward, those of you that I know, hey, it's so nice to see some of your faces. And those of you that I don't know yet, I'm looking really forward to connecting and hearing a bit more about your purpose in the world and what you're creating and moving into.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. We're so grateful. And she's in the midst of, they're building a brand new house, which is incredible. So they took down that house that was there, which was like perfect for the time that it was, and they're rebuilding, which is so exciting. So she's got a lot of moving parts too, and two little kiddos. So, and so anything you want to add before I do a little housekeeping, make sure everybody has everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just like yeah, what I'd like to say is it's a real joy to be here and to connect with the people that have shown up. If you are in a space of really not so much only discovering your purpose, but actually beginning to live it in this world, and you feel that soul calling within you to make that transition from that space of thinking about it, moving towards it, and then finding that there might be obstacles in actually living it.
Mhm.
I feel that this is really the correct setup for that. In the way that we're configured, just like Alexandra said a second ago. I mean, sometimes you come knowing your purpose, yes, right? And it just seems like that's just what you have to do. You just do that. But then sometimes there's this period where you're sort of living life and finding it out as you go. You explore it by interacting with the environment and with the people around you, and seeing that, this is more where I fit. I feel I'm starting to feel where I fit in
Mhm.
this puzzle, right? And so wherever you are in that journey, whether it be that you came here with a purpose and on some level internally you feel like it's been a challenge to step up to that and to live that, because there is a great deal of courage involved in
Mhm.
living that, right? For most of us, especially when your purpose is a big one that kind of scares you, right? Some scary ones, right? If you could have that, or you could have that you're living life and you realize that all of a sudden something is calling you, like you want to make an impact, you want to see change. It might be in the world, it might be in your family, it might be just internally, you want to feel different, right? Whatever that is calling you from your soul, I feel that we have the correct configuration here
Mm-hmm.
to do it, both in the masculine, feminine type principle, but also in the principle of being able to bridge that gap
Mm-hmm.
from where, you either come in with it or you realize, hey,
I'm building.
I'm building, I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning, I'm growing, I'm becoming more of myself, and that is where my
Mm-hmm.
purpose will really be expressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we have that covered. We'd have a good time doing this. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to say that a bit about me, like
Mm-hmm.
in this trio as well. Um, a lot of my background has been, and I recently came to this, and this is where your purpose continues to develop. I recently came to the fact that a lot of what I've done all along the way in terms of spiritual practitioner, fitness type trainer, right? Mental fitness trainer, a Course in Miracles teacher, and all of the different things across the board that I've done have always involved technique,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Technique and practice. Okay, and when I say that, what I mean is you can do something. We all do something, right? But to learn to do something well, to master it, it takes repetition, right? And it takes work. So in all the things that I've done, even with coaching, I used to coach kids that became champs, etc., back in track and field and the throwing disciplines and all of these things and engineering and all the things that I've done along the way. Because I could talk about all the things I've done for a long while here, but I just want to give you this idea that the technical aspect of things always seem to be the most important. Having a sound technique or having a framework that you can work with to achieve something, it really takes you like light years ahead. And I feel that's sort of where we stand in this game. In fact, I know that's where we stand in this game. It's about being able to have that correct structure that allows you to easily reach whatever that goal is,
Mm-hmm.
right? To reach that with ease. Of course, we went through a lot of trials and iterations of it for ourselves. And that's why we saw so many clients and everything we've done as well. But we've come to this point now where we have something and we have a technique, practices that we've worked with that work. So this is where we are now. And that's sort of who I am. I stand in the world as spiritual practitioner, teacher, and all these things, but the experience that I've gathered over that time is really what I feel makes that different. The insight that a coach would be able to offer because they've done the thing so many times, that's sort of where we stand in this. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I want to say hi to a number of people as well so that we get to know you a little bit. So let me open it up here. I'm going to say hi to Lisa. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Michelle Rolston. Hi, Linda. Hi, Gina. Hi, Tara. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Shri. Hi, I think that's
Sri Ram.
Shri
Sri Ram.
Ram. I love that.
Short for Sri Ram. And
Mhm.
okay, okay, okay.
Hi, Courtney. Hi, Diane. Hi, Marta. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Brenda. Hi,
Hi, Maria.
Maria. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Fur. Hi, Madison. We got a Facebook user. I can't see the name. Hi, Ricky. Hi, Dawn. It's so grateful to see you all. Thank you so much for being here. We're so, so grateful. And we're looking forward to getting to know you all as well, because that's really important for Gabriel and I. Gabriel and I have always gotten to know, whether it was even when some of you we met in Collingwood for the first time, Collingwood, Ontario. We were speaking at a festival, and it was really important to me that when each person entered the space, that I welcomed them into the space, that I went up and I said hi and we gave them hugs, because this isn't just another workshop. This isn't just another face in the room, a face in the crowd. You are an amazing, powerful, divine spark of light with a unique configuration that only you can embody. It gives me chills just even feeling into that. As I look at each of you, as I welcome each of you here, as I presence each of you, and for those of you catching the replay, we're going to get to know you as well. I really want to slow it down for a second to really get to know you. And I want you to feel your own presence, because if we don't feel our own presence, then we're just another lifetime. It's just another path. It's just another moment. And all these lifetimes and paths and everything, it just goes like this. I want you to slow it down so that you really feel the depth of what you are, of who you are, and that you start to connect to that, because you really are this incredible being with a unique configuration that will only ever happen once. The unique configuration that you are will only ever happen once, not just once in a lifetime, once in eternity. Think about that for a second. Once in eternity, once in the infinite, there will only ever be you that exists as you right here, right now. With this life, with this body, with this configuration, with your eyes, with your hair, with your skin color, with your journey, with those that walk with you, with this family, with this community, with this life that you've lived, with the things that you've fallen, the challenges that you've had, and you've gotten back up and you've grown, only ever once in an eternity. That's huge, you guys. And then I ask myself the question, so if this is once in an eternity, what am I doing with this life? If you're aware of past lives or future lives, you know you're going to have another life. You're going to have another life to do it all again if you believe in that. You know that you've had lifetimes before where you've done some really cool things. That's great. What about this one? What are we doing in this life that's making it great? I'm not talking average. So you're going to hear us talk a lot about this in the next week. This is not about the average life. This is about the exceptional. This is about the awesome. This is about the greatness. And I really want us to just pause, and we're going to set an intention for today. I want you to just pause. Now you can have your eyes open or closed for this, whatever allows you to just be present. And I want you to just focus on the breath for a moment and breathe into what I just said. There will only ever be me in this version once in eternity. That I am a divine spark with unique configuration that is here now, that is living life now, that is creating life now. And with that awareness, I want you to bring your focus to the top of your head and imagine your crown chakra opening up. Imagine your crown chakra opening up to the sky, opening up to the energy above you, opening up to spirit, source, creator, God, the infinite, the divine, whatever you call that higher energy and power that you are a part of. You are held within. And as you tap into that higher energy, invite it into your consciousness in this moment. Invite it into your crown chakra. Invite that higher energy, that higher insight and clarity, guidance to flow into your crown, into your mind, into your thoughts. Imagine a liquid light being poured into you, into your crown, and into your body, so that you start to align already with your higher truth, with this higher energy and light. In this moment, I align with the divine. I align with source. I align with creator. And feel this energy moving through you, moving through your body, and moving all the way down. We're going to take one more moment and ground this energy and light down into the earth below you. Just like a tree, a plant roots itself into the earth so that it can grow. Ground this light, ground the divine that you are into the earth so that you can grow. See or feel your roots strong. And then feel your body, your energy field expand. Expand, 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 expand your auric field. Expand the light, open to receive, opening your heart field. And in this expansion, do you want to add a little prayer and intention for us?
Yeah. And in this expansion, realize that what you desire, what's in you, what's calling to be expressed, realize that it's there for a reason. It's there as a seed. It's ready to grow, and it's calling to be expressed. Feel that. Feel the presence of that seed within you. Feel the presence of that within you. Allow yourself to sink into that beautiful feeling. Not one of hope, but one of surety, one of certainty. It must grow, and it grows as you are aware of its presence. So feel its presence within you. Feel it running through your entire body from the center and through the field through which you extend. The field surrounding you, the interconnected field of people, the networks that you know, and all that your mind rests on, all that your mind rests on in the environment, in your daydreams, and in all your desires. And begin to bring that forward as if in the front of you, knowing fully well that you're moving towards the fulfillment and the experience of it. Feel it coursing through you, coursing through the space that you occupy and the space that surrounds you.
And so we set this intention powerfully. We feel this energy powerfully. And with that, we take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. Take another deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. And one more deep breath in. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. We're so grateful. Hi, Agnes. Nice to see you. So grateful to be here with you all. So, so grateful. So it's important for us to start this way because you know how it is. We have many moving parts in our life. Anybody not have many moving parts in their life? I have lots of moving. We homeschool our 3 kiddos. We're on the road. We're traveling. We're down here in Miami area, Delray, Boynton Beach.
Yes.
We took a road trip down here about a week and a bit ago. We had this divine call. So talk about answering the divine call. We had this divine call, a tap, 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 to be down here at this time for many reasons. And, you know, sometimes we know exactly why we're doing the thing we're doing. And then other times we're like, I don't know why we're doing what we're doing. I just know that we need to be there. And I'm so happy that we followed that call because it's brought us to so much expansion that we want to share with you that ties right into this workshop. This is so divinely planned, aligned, timed on a higher level that it's perfect. It's perfect that all of you are here. We're grateful. And I really am going to keep saying that because I want you to know and I want you to feel seen and I want you to feel heard because I feel like in a sea of all sorts of things in our life, in the day-to-day, in the distractions, even when you show up here in workshops and classes, I was thinking even I attended an in-person event. There was almost 250 women. It can feel like a sea, right, of endless people or things that are going on. And it's not until you just slow down for a moment. And I felt that because I led a meditation even at the beginning of that talk, at the conference that I was at, and the room was buzzy. It was just like, "Bzzz." And I'm thinking, how is anybody going to connect heart to heart, soul to soul, if we're all in this frenetic, buzzy excitement energy, but buzzy? So I was so grateful that one of our business mentors, she had me come up on stage and lead a meditation. And immediately you could feel the energy just go, "Ooh." And people became so present. And that's why we wanted to open it up this way with you, because we want you to be really present, present to you, present to the field, present to what's coming in for you, present to the insights that are going to start popping and opening for you, present to the energy that is supporting you and guiding you, present even to this community. All right. So take a moment and also glance around. It's like what if we were in the room together, I'd have you glance around at the room and look at each other. And even though you might just see, you know, you might not see everybody's pictures, but you might see names. Take a look. Open it up and fan through. If you're catching the replay, come back and read some of the comments. We want you to also get to know each other because community is really important. Without community, you feel like you're this like lone wolf or the sitting duck. You're like, okay, like I'm floating in my own little bubble here, but like, where are my peeps?
Hi,
Right?
Laura.
Your peeps might be here, right? Your peeps might be right here. And that's one thing that I would say I'm really grateful for with this community. We have a really beautiful community of a lot of powerful light workers and people who are very heart centered. So if ever that's something that you need, lean in, don't lean back. Lean in and don't hide out. Lean in. Because when you lean in, you get to be seen and you get to be heard. And that is a big part of you fulfilling your purpose. You can't fulfill your purpose sitting on a meditation pillow in a room by yourself.
Unless your purpose is to sit
Unless
on
your
a
purpose is to
meditation
do it.
pillow and
But even I have worked with, I had a couple clients that were Tibetan monks
yeah.
that was that's what they were born into. That was
Yes.
their life until their mid 20s, early 30s. And one of them, he was, I think, 45. And he got to a point where he said, I'm ready to go out into the world. I've sat here long enough now.
Yes.
I need to go out
Yes.
in the world because I can't learn anything else. So even though some of us might love the luxury of just sitting and being like, I would love to just have a day, even to just sit in meditation, right? To do nothing. There's a point that you got to get up and you got to go, right? So we're going to talk about all that. All right. So we want to make sure that you have the workbook. If you do not have a workbook as yet, please message Alexandra or type in here workbook and Alexandra will find you. It's sometimes easier if you could find her on Facebook because many times there's like multiple names of multiple people, right? And so if you don't have a name like Tara Antler, which there's very few of us, I don't think there's anyone else. That's pretty easy. But if you could find Alexandra also on Facebook, like open it up. Alexandra's going to keep track here, but make sure that she's going to DM you the workbook so that you have it. The other thing that we want to mention is that you guys are going to have access to this content for 9 days. Okay, so if you're catching the replay or if you want to come back and catch some bit of it, come back and binge watch it as often as you can. We're going to send it out in the email. I'm also going to put it up in the podcast. Do you guys know about the Purpose Podcast? When you open up your book, you're going to see the workbook. You're going to see there's a Purpose Podcast and you can download it and it's a secret podcast. It's not available to the public. It's only for this. And right now there are, I can't remember, I think 16 episodes now. This is like a gold mine in here. I was listening back to some of the content that we had recorded and I was like, whoa, this is so on point with what we're actually going through right now, present time. So if you haven't yet downloaded the Purpose Podcast, Align with Purpose Podcast, just put Align in the comments and Alexandra will make sure that you get the link to the podcast as well. Okay. So all the replays are going to go up in that podcast so that you have a place to listen. Cause I don't know about you guys, but I love being here in on video. But when I go for my power walks in the morning, I'm like, who's walking with me today? So I put on my podcast and I'm like listening and, tuning into all the things. So you'll find the replays there. You'll also find them in the Facebook group. So make sure that you're also a part of the Facebook group. If you haven't yet, if you don't know about the Facebook group, Alexandra, if you could maybe put the link and then once we're finished here, we'll add you guys to the Facebook group, but that's where you're going to see all the replays are going to be there as well. And we decided this morning that we're going to have a purpose after party. I was calling it the purpose party. We're going to have a purpose after party because we really want you guys to get to know each other. Community is so important to me. It's always been important to me. Like I said, hugs and love all around. And I want you to all feel that, what we feel all the time. So we're going to be having a purpose after party inside the Facebook group. So make sure that you're in that group. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We might do some giveaways. There's going to be some beautiful things that are going to happen every single day. So make sure that you're in that group as well. Okay. So Alexandra's going to help you guys make sure that you have all the things. We're going to start to dive on in if you guys are ready. Let me just close some of these browsers. Okay, perfect. Oh, and there's one more thing. Some of you, we decided also on the weekend that, and you'll see this in the workbook, we decided to create a VIP option. If some of you want access to this, it's only $35. We're going to do live hot seats on Wednesday and Friday. We're going to also do an intimate 60-minute group session similar to this, where we can go deeper on your specific purpose, aligning with action and following your sacred yes. And Gabriel has created this really cool report that looks at your life path and your numerology to see where your sequence is, your season, And really what's happening right now, because I have always found that to be helpful, when I'm looking at each year, I'm looking at my human design, I'm looking at astrology, I'm looking at numerology to see where am I at in this season and cycle and what do I really need to focus on. You can kind of intuitively feel it once your intuition is really, expanded and open and you're living in alignment. You can really sense what's going on. And I just find it so helpful when you have these really cool reports that are kind of like, if you're in this season and you're in this cycle, here's what you could be focused on that's really going to help support your purpose. So if you're interested in VIP, just type VIP in the workbook as well. There's a little QR code that you can just scan. It's only $35. And then you'll have access to those 3 extra things. Okay. All right, so let's move into day 1. Now, I also want to preface this, okay? Even though we have a workbook, Gabriel and I are super, super intuitive and we are constantly aligning ourselves with the divine and the higher energy. That's why we ask when you guys show up here, we're tuning into all of you. So when we hear certain things in the field, we might have to take a detour. We might have to move the content a little bit. So I would love for you guys just to be open and flowing with us because we're really tuning into like what's in the highest and best good for all of you, even though we have a plan. You know how it is when you have a plan and then they say there's God's plan or creator's plan, oftentimes they're 2 different things unless you're really, really like in alignment 100%, which, we fall out of alignment every day. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. So day 1, this is about knowing there might be some additional things that we're going to bring in. And if that's the case, I'll let you know and say, this is not in the workbook. Okay. So you could make a mental note or write it down. Okay. Yeah. We love to be open and flowing because it's the only way to live. I find it's the only way to live. All right. So today we're going to experience the difference between our soul knowing and sacrificing ourselves to what others expect. We're also going to
Yeah.
explore the depth of our true purpose versus surface level roles and free ourselves from the shoulds that really keep us split between ourselves and others. So that's the intention today. And so if you scroll down and onto that next page, it says, experience the difference between soul knowing and sacrificing yourself to what others expect. And then there's some scripted writing underneath the hands in prayer. What you can write in there is, what does it feel like when you're connecting to your soul self and truth? What does it feel like when you're connecting, when you're connecting to your soul self and truth? And there's a little box there where you can start to write that in. I would love for you to also let us know, because you actually know what it feels like when you're in alignment, when you're not in alignment. And when we talk about alignment, we're talking about being in alignment with your soul self. So what does it feel like when you're connecting to your soul self and your truth? I always say capital T, truth. And so while I'm waiting to see what that feels like for you, and let us know in the comments, I'm going to share what I've come to know through my own journey and also working with clients. I'll start with clients. When I've watched clients not be in alignment with themselves, there's confusion, there's conflict, there's chaos, there's a questioning of themselves, there's a feeling of depression, disappointment, fear comes up a whole lot, overwhelm also comes up a whole lot, and then there's this feeling of just spinning in what I'm to do next. How do I feel? I don't know if this is aligned. Should I be doing this first? Or maybe I should do that next. And there's just this spinning and there's a lack of movement forward because we're stuck in a space of confusion and conflict. And confusion and conflict is really the ego and the shadows domain. And I learned recently, and I have to go double check the facts on this, but uh, it was said that the brain, within 43 seconds of you coming up with a new idea, or let's say you have a divine inspiration. Any of you ever get like the divine drop downs, the divine download?
Download.
I got the download where
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, this is the best idea ever. I got this download. I totally got this download. And it feels so good and it feels so aligned. And you're just like, oh my God, Eureka, this is like the best thing. This is better than sliced bread. Like, this is so good. And you're jacked about it. You feel so good. And then all of a sudden, if you aren't in a space of mastery with yourself, the brain, the limbic part of your brain, which is the reptilian part of your brain that really functions on fear, keeping you safe, keeping you protected, in 43 seconds. I shared this with our light leaders the other day. 43 seconds, it's already coming up with reasons why you should not be doing that thing. Oh, wait a second, this is scary. I don't think you should do that. Well, who are you to teach that? Or who are you to do that? You don't even know what you're doing. I don't think you know enough. this is too much. How are you even going to map this out? You should probably stay focused on what you're doing right now, because it starts to do all these things. You all have an inner brain that's going to talk to you in the way that it talks to you. Anybody ever experienced this? Yeah, it's not fun. And then what happens is we take a detour, a sidestep, or we just stay exactly where we are. We had this amazing idea and then we lose the steam. And for some of us, we lose it faster than others. When you're in alignment with your soul self, this is where the magic starts to come in. You start to feel clear. You start to feel aligned. You feel like you could do anything. You feel like even if you don't know exactly what the steps are, you're like, I got this. I'm fired up. I can do this. There's a higher voice. There's a higher capital T truth. Whatever your limbic brain is telling you, that's not the truth. That's just protection. That's not the truth. You're not going to get hurt. And even if you do, you're going to get up, you're going to mend, you're going to heal, and you're going to grow, and you're going to go again. But that part of our brain, it will contract us. It will drop us. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, energetically, if you think about it energetically, that is, it's like hitting that crescendo, you know? You're there and you have an idea and you get inspired by it and they're like excited about it. Most people get really excited when they have like new amazing ideas come through, right? And as soon as you hit that point, you hit that peak, the zenith, they usually say there's nowhere to go but down, right? But that's not true. I'm just saying for most of us, it feels that way because when we hit that point and the energy starts to wean away and we can't see the vision as clear and everything, and then as the 43-second part hit that Tara said, it's almost like we start doubting whether or not it's possible at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, you go so far as saying, I better not waste my time with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then all those sorts of things start coming in because the energy is actually on a decline after you hit that crescendo. So when we think about this energetically, it's kind of natural for it to have that wave pattern that it has. But what we learn to do is to interrupt that pattern, right?
And we're going to share with you something that can interrupt that pattern.
Yes. So I want to just say that. Yeah, go ahead.
And then the next one is, what does it feel like? And I can't remember what's written there for you guys, so you can fill this in. What does it feel like when you're sacrificing yourself to what others expect? Or maybe it's even what your ego expects. What does it feel like when you're sacrificing yourself to what others expect, or maybe the ego expects? Just so that you can see the contrast, right? Because like I just mentioned, if I am sacrificing some part of myself, and I remember when Gabriel and I first met and we had the conversation about babies, right? Will we have a family? Yeah, I think so.
I was excited.
I was excited. We were like, we're gonna have babies. But before I met Gabriel, I didn't know, because I was so focused on my purpose, the current purpose at that time. I started my business in holistic healing in 2002. And I had just finished university. So I would have been 19, 20, 21, 22, 22. I went right into holistic training for 2 years. And I started my business right out of the gates. As soon as I got my level 1 Reiki, I was like, let's go, let's do this. And all my other peers, they were waiting. I have to wait, or I'm going to wait until I finish this entire certification in the next 2 years. And I was like, I could hear my higher self being like, you don't have time for that. You got to go now. You got to start working with clients now. People need you now. And so I realized that also, like the world was saying, you should probably wait. You should probably wait until you finish your certifications, until you finish this program, so that you know what you're fully doing before you start seeing clients. And my higher self was like, ixnay on that. You've got a purpose to fulfill here that's bigger than what the world is telling you. So I started seeing clients right away. And then I remember, fast forward, I built this amazing practice in Toronto. And then I started to get this tap, 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 nudge, nudge, nudge. You got to go to California. And my parents, the world was saying, are you crazy? You just built this practice from 22, 23 until 30. You built this flourishing practice, which nobody really thought I was going to be able to do, because Reiki, energy healing, reflexology, aromatherapy, massage, that was not very known back in 2002. So I was doing something that most didn't even know what that was. I was treading a whole new territory.
And sometimes not accepted as well.
And not accepted as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so my parents thought I was nuts. A lot of people were like, I don't know how you're going to do this. Like, what are you doing? And then I did it. I built the flourishing practice. I was teaching back at the college where I had studied and went to school. And then I get the nudge, you're going to now go on this journey to California and you're going to leave your practice in Toronto. And everybody, the whole world was like, are you nuts? So the world was telling me, you should stay here and continue to build this. My soul was like, no, we have a bigger plan and a bigger journey unfolding here for you. Can you trust? Can you trust this higher guidance that something bigger is about to unfold? And I'm sharing this with you so that you can also start to see when those moments have come in, when your divine self has been speaking to you, when the world is telling you, no, this is where you should stay. But your higher self is like, wait a second, there's something bigger happening here for you. You all have had this happen. And when you follow that, even prior to, like, I wasn't sure, but my purpose was about to change. And I could feel that. I intersected with Gabriel. Fast forward, however many years later, we had babies. I'm so grateful that I'm a mom. There was a time in my life where I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be a mom. I was so focused on fulfilling my purpose. And I'm sharing this because there's layers to our purpose. And then becoming a mom is like one of the best things in the world, man in the mirror. Exactly. One of the best things. So there are layers to your purpose, and it could be your ego that is telling you, no, you shouldn't, which is then becomes a sacrifice, right? So becoming a mom wasn't a sacrifice to my purpose. It enhanced my purpose. Letting go of my busy practice in Toronto wasn't a sacrifice to my purpose and my business. It was an enhancement. The people that I met, the connections that I had, I was 1 degree away from being on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday. 1 degree. There was a forklift moment that, made that change and it didn't happen, which I'm actually grateful for in the long run. However, there were incredible things that happened. So by me making that change, it didn't sacrifice anything. So I want you to start to be aware of that. Like, where are you sacrificing parts of yourself or feeling like if I do this, that I have to let go of that? Or if I do that and make that change, then that means things are going to change. But this is not about sacrificing. This is about you staying in alignment. And when you stay in alignment, there is a way, source, creator, the divine, God, whatever you want to call that, has a way to make everything work out. And oftentimes, it's bigger than what your mind can actually think about or comprehend or map out. Okay? All right. So the next page. Do you want to talk about, I think they have this, but not those.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to start?
You should start
Yeah.
us off,
Okay. Okay. So the next page, there are some little boxes and then there's some circles below. In the boxes, we want you to use this as soul work to start to contemplate what are the surface level roles that I am now in or that I've been experiencing. So surface level could be, like doing the dishes. Surface level, like when I worked at the Ministry of Health while I was building my business, to me, that was a surface level job. I didn't enjoy doing admin work. I didn't enjoy working at the Ministry of Health, but it was serving a purpose for my next step. So sometimes we need to see that our surface level roles, the surface level pieces that we are engaged in, they are serving a purpose for our next leap, for our next jump, or maybe we're acquiring and learning and growing from these surface level roles. And we never want to poo-poo upon them. Even though I didn't enjoy working in the Ministry of Health, I am so grateful for that opportunity because I met some incredible people who I still keep in touch with today. Elen being one of them, who's one of our clients now. I met some incredible people. I also knew that that's not where I wanted to stay. I also knew that if I could have that financial bridge, it would make it easier for me to build my business without the stress being put on my business to try to acquire clients or figure that whole thing out. I had stability. I'm so grateful. But that was a surface level. That wasn't really deep. It wasn't deep work. Do you see? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just want to say this bar about the surface level roles as well. It's not that these things are to be taken for granted at all, because in reaching your purpose, there are steps that you take towards it, right? And it's a sort of preparation, just like in any other art that you do. There are certain skill sets that you must learn before you can step into it fully. And the surface level roles sometimes are preparation for that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the same thing in my experience where You know, I was doing things, jobs, for instance, like this one time I was working as a geriatric aide, right? For this, nobody knows this. This was way, way, way back, right? And I did this for an entire summer, and it was quite a wonderful experience actually, because I had the interaction with people at that part of life where, you know, they've lived, and they've come to this point in life where, yes, it's winding down, but they can reflect on it and see whether they really did what they wanted to do. And I got to ask a lot of questions in that space too about, you know, well, what was your experience like? What was your life like? And what I always heard was either you would hear them say, hey, it's been amazing. I love my family. I love this. I love all the things they do. They either say that or they say, you know what? If I could do it again, I woulda, I shoulda, or this,
Mm,
right? And those surface, it is, I'm talking about a surface level role, but a depth to this as
mhm,
well, because what I say is in interacting with people on that degree, it turned me on to wanting to aid in that
mm,
process so that more people weren't in the end of their days looking
mhm,
back and saying, hey, you know what? I coulda, I shoulda. I
mhm,
missed it. I missed the journey. I
mhm,
missed what I was supposed to do. I missed my purpose. I've heard that before too. I've heard that said. I missed
mhm,
my purpose. And I don't think we really ever miss it, but we could always do it to a place where we're able to appreciate the
mhm,
life that we live,
mhm,
right? And be able to share the value of that and the energy of that with the others around
mhm,
us. So the surface level roles give us the opportunity sometimes to have greater insight into what we're doing,
mhm.
right? But it's never where you want to stay.
It's not where you want to
You don't want to
stay.
stay. You
I didn't want to
definitely don't
stay
want to
with the
stay there
ministry of
forever,
health.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that's part of purpose too, in a sense,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah.
But what we want you to do as you do this work, like you might have some ideas that are coming into your mind now. We want you to look at it through the lens of gratitude. This is so important for every area of your life. I have learned along the way, if I really want to forgive or release something, you have to, if you want to complete it, you've got to get to the space where you can look at it, face it, and be grateful. I am so grateful for even when I worked with my mom and dad at the lodge. I'm so grateful that I cleaned bathrooms. There were days my sister and I would go into those bathrooms. We would have to take turns who was going to do the men's and who was going to do the women's bathrooms.
You guys use the draw sticks?
No, we would
Pull
switch
the short stick,
days
who pull the
because
short stick?
no, we switch days because every day in the summer those bathrooms had to be cleaned twice a day, sometimes three, and we would switch. No, it was my turn to do the women's bathroom. No, it was my turn, and we'd have to switch.
Was the women's bathroom better?
The women's bathroom was always clean.
Oh,
The men's bathroom,
awesome.
I'm telling you, you guys, there, I don't even know how. I do
Jeez.
not understand how you could go to the bathroom and put your bum on a toilet seat and it ends up all over the back of the
Oh
walls.
my
I
God.
don't understand. To this day, I do not. I was like, this is what you call a blowout, right?
No, that's crazy.
But I didn't want that. That's like surface level rolls. I didn't want to be cleaning toilets like that. But you know what that did? When I look back at it, I am so grateful. I am so grateful that I got my hands dirty and that I did those jobs because when I started my business,
Yes.
there was
Yes.
no way
I was
in
going back to
anything, in
that.
any dimension or reality was I going back.
Yes.
I am going forward.
Holy
I am
smokes.
making this
It
thing
gave you the
work.
drive, yes.
Oh,
That's
I
the
can't
push.
drive.
That's the
I'm
push.
making this thing work no matter what.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing when I worked at the Ministry of Health. I could look at so many of the experiences I had there and be so grateful.
Yes.
Even when I look, even after that, things have been like amazing from that point on. There's nothing that I would change after that, right?
Yeah.
Because I was so intentional about my life and intentional about what I was creating and intentional about staying in alignment with my purpose. When you stay in alignment with your purpose, you can navigate all these changes. You can navigate world changes. You can navigate life changes. You can navigate when your higher self is knocking and saying, there's another plan unfolding here for you. Okay, great. I don't even question it anymore because I know if I resist it, I'm going to end up in a total SHIT storm. And that's not going to be good for anybody. Right? So the next box over, the yellow box, these are the should roles, okay? The should roles, or you can just call them the shoulds. So we've got the surface level roles and the should roles. Sounds so funny when I say that.
Should rolls.
The should roll.
Should
Should roll.
SHI.
Yeah.
Should rolls.
That really keep you split between yourself, between self and others. So we sometimes forget that I was talking to our leaders about this. You have an idea about what you want for your life. right? Everybody does. Everybody here could say, yes, I have an idea for what I want for my life. How you want to live your life? Yes. Yes. You have an idea for how you want to live your life. So we're going about our business. We're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And then the world sometimes comes, or you'll hear of a strategy in business. I was thinking about this, right? You know what you should do?
Uh-huh.
In order to make this la 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 la, you should go create this. You should have a YouTube show. You should have a podcast. You should have a really great email list. You should also have a really great podcast. You should also get on everybody's podcasts. You should also interview everybody on your podcast. You should also hire a team, and it should be a good team. You should also make sure that you get enough sleep at night, that you're eating right, that you're exercising. You should make sure that you meditate. You should make sure that you've got your spiritual self in check. And you should make sure that you're also tending to your kids and make sure that they're well. And by the way, you should also make sure that you have time. Oh, and you should also make sure that if you have a partner, you should make sure that you're also being intimate and having all the things go well. And also, you should also, do you see what I'm saying? Guys, that's a lot. That is a lot for a human being to manage in a day.
But that's definitely what we should do. Again.
Okay, so you see what I'm saying, right? That is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And that pressure is
It's a
like,
lot.
I'm doing this for me, but am I doing it for you? I'm also doing this to make sure that others are happy, that my clients are happy, that my world is happy, that my husband is happy, that my kids are happy. I'm also doing all these things to make sure everything's working. And we don't realize that all of this chaos creates a split. We either find ourselves people pleasing, where we're making sure everybody else is okay. So then we sacrifice. We're making sure that everything in our business is okay, which then again, we take a hit on that. Sometimes we become very, very self-centered, where we're like, well, I'm just F this. I'm focusing on myself. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I'm focused on myself. And then we get so caught in our purpose and like, oh, this is what I want to do. And this is what I want to do. And then you realize you put something out into the world and it's like crickets. You're like, why does nobody like this? Is so amazing. But you were focused on what you wanted to do, not necessarily the whole. And this is where we want to take you on this journey this week, is really getting into when you're in beautiful soul alignment, the soul, your higher self, takes into consideration everything and everyone. But we first have to pay attention to the should roles that we've maybe been entertaining a little too much, because that creates imbalance. It creates a lopsidedness and actually creates distance, space, and a split between you and others. And I don't think any of y'all here, unless you do, put up your hand if you do, you want to live a life in solitude, like just you. I don't know very many people that I think I've maybe heard from 2 people that ever wanted that. Okay. The next box, which is kind of a corally red, are your goals. So today for soul work, we really want you to take some time, put on some nice music, sit outside if it's nice outside, and really consider your goals from what you know. Because tomorrow or the next day, we're going to talk about beyond what you know. Because there's what you know, and those are important. Maybe there are goals that have been sitting there, dreams. You can also put dreams, goals, dreams, desires that you have wanted to experience for a really long time. Or maybe there's things that you're like, I really would love for this to come to fruition. Great. Great. We want you to actualize all of that. And we also want you to be open, and this will happen tomorrow or the next day. We want you also to be open to beyond what you already know. So start with what you know and then be open. Okay, I'll just put that as a side note. And then the last things, there are passions, right? Like, what are you passionate about? What do you love? Like, we both love to travel. Gabriel loves pickleball as a passion, which is turning into a whole other thing. He had a really cool thing happen today. Do you want to just share quickly? And you
Yeah.
following your passion, because this is a really good highlight.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we forget that our passion can also open up to our purpose.
Yeah. So I went to my regular pickleball thing today. We're in Florida, etc. And I ended up playing with the pros today because they were
The pros you see on TV.
yeah, like the TV pros, the ones that are very, very popular were there today, and I played with them.
Mhm.
I played all right. I played all right. It was fun. It was a fun experience, but I was like, oh, I usually don't get starstruck or anything like that. I'm not a starstruck type person because I've been around a lot of them, but it was amazing to see them in person versus on the TV, you know, and to actually play with them and see what they're up to. Right. It was a really good experience. But the head trainer for there told me come by and play anytime I want and stuff like that. And he wants to work with me and stuff. So basically I'll be playing with the pros. It's gonna be fun.
Right. And because
Yeah.
I hope it's okay that I share this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, Gabriel's 2 sisters were Olympic swimmers. And Gabriel was really close to that. So I feel like there's always been this
Yeah.
thing of wanting to fulfill that piece of
Yeah.
being an Olympic athlete. Gabriel's been an athlete his entire life. That's been a part of his passion, which is a part of his purpose and the fulfillment. Okay. So in him following the passion can open up to a new layer of your purpose. And this is for all of you. This is for all of you. You all have purpose pieces. You all have purpose pieces. I know that you do. And so when you start to really look at that and you're like, okay, what are the passions that I love that could be a part of the next layer of my purpose unfolding, right? So we have two more bits that we want to share with you. Discovering the soul's blueprint. Yeah, for sure. So discovering the soul's blueprint. We have the kiddos here with us, and we're not in our home space, so it's very different. And yet see how, other people could be like, oh, I'm not going to go live. I'm not going to facilitate this workshop while we're on the road and while we're traveling. For us, we just know that the purpose to serve is bigger than any fluctuations that we could ever possibly imagine. Like even this, we have one little ring light, and thank creator, there was this, those lights that you do your makeup and it has all the little fancy things in the room that Aria is staying in had one. We are using that as part of our lighting
And
today.
it's fabulous.
But that's being able to flow with how things are unfolding, and that unfolding, being able to trust in that comes with practice, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit today, but more tomorrow and the next day. Okay. So discovering the soul's blueprint. If my soul, and I believe there's space there for you to write this at the top. So it's discovering the soul's blueprint. And there's a girl meditating by the ocean and the light, and it says awakening the call of your purpose. So above there's space for you to write. If my soul could speak directly, like directly to you, if my soul could speak directly to me, what would it tell me? What would it say? Now we're going to walk you through a practice that's going to help you connect to that. And then there's space there for you to write. I highly recommend that you don't just do this like one and done sort of thing. I will share this with you quickly before we do the practice. Right before we came down here, I felt shifts happening. Those in the community and Thrive Evolution and Enlight Leadership, because I've been sharing this a lot. I even shared it in the podcast, in the Purpose podcast, Align with Purpose podcast. I shared some of the journey of what was happening because it was so divinely timed with what we're doing here with all of you that Gabriel and I have always found this. Now time is speeding up. So there was a time where we would be like 15 to 20 years before the rest of like the population. And we had to do that for a point of mastery so that we could teach it. Then it started to shorten. At one point, it was like 6 months. We'd experiencing 6 months. Now it's at one point, it was 6 weeks. Now it's about 2 weeks because the energy is speeding up, because consciousness is speeding up, because humanity is speeding up. And I could sense that there was a big stir happening on the planet. Anybody feel that over the last like month, 6 weeks? A big shift, right? A huge, huge shift. I just want to open it up to see all of you. Yeah, huge shift. Let me know in the comments what you all were feeling and experiencing, because I'd be curious. I have a feeling we were all experiencing some similar things. For me, what I started to feel was there was an unsettled feeling. I started feeling unsettled. And then that unsettled was leaving me feeling unfulfilled in certain pieces. And then it started to open up this questioning where I was questioning like, what's next? What's the next piece? I could feel a new layer was about to unfold, new layer of the purpose. Then I could feel humanity. And I was like, whoa, humanity's in this swirl. People are asking some really big questions. And then there was some major stuff that happened in the US, right? With a certain gentleman who died. And that blew the lid open to a spiritual revolution. Doesn't matter if you're religious or not. It opened the door for a spiritual up level in our consciousness. And when that happened, I was like, holy cow, I was feeling this. And it was like watching people pick up the torch and carry a message forward. People have been ignited. People have been lit up. And my hair is on tingling right now as I say this. I've got chills because this is what we're all here for. This is why this is so important that you all are here doing this work this week, because you're right on time. You're right on time with what you came here for. You're right on time with what your soul has like tap, 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 nudge, 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 place you exactly here in this moment because you were feeling it, right? Feeling unsettled, insecure, felt like things are totally off. Things were
Needing
unbalanced.
balance. Yeah.
Yep. Everything was just said. I've been feeling in the last couple of weeks, exactly. Expansion. Felt the pause, almost like stalling a car. 100%. I felt that too. Lucid dreaming, unsettled, disrupted sleep. Yep. Charlie Kirk was the gentleman who passed. Very, very sad. But at the same time, his purpose, even in the passing, his purpose cracked open a bigger conversation. Does not matter what your background is. It does not matter what your spiritual inclination or your religious this is not about that. This is about a bigger conversation, and I could feel it, right? A lot of time at home, working from bed, felt the need to retreat, 100%. percent Let's just see, lots of questions, confusion, needing balance, connection. I've been attracting experience that helped me see what I want to focus on and what I want to let go of, 100%. Yes, fatigue, vivid dreams, letting go and purging unaligned pieces through the last, the Virgo Pisces eclipse was huge. Antsy, a wee bit lost and disconnected, extremely tired. What's next for me? Yes, purging, 100%. And for those of you catching the replay, make sure that you post the comments. We'll post a thread for you that we'll do like a replay thread. I'd love to hear what everybody else is feeling. Something big is coming down. Exactly. It's about to shift. I felt this. And so right before we left, we had traveled. We were also traveling, and I left my we were at a pickleball tournament.
Were we? Oh yeah, it's
Smiths
Smiths
Falls
Falls.
and
Yeah.
Perth, Ontario. And we came back, and I left my laptop in the truck. And I thought it'd be okay, but the temperature dropped, and it dropped to about like 6 degrees, and it did something even worse to my laptop. So my laptop only likes when it's about 30 degrees Celsius. Okay. So I had to put a heater behind it,
This is a tropical laptop.
had to put the hair blower on it, had to do all sorts of things just to get it going. It doesn't like being cold. So we get in the truck to start our road trip down here, which normally takes about 2.5 days to drive from Northern Ontario to Florida. We did it over 4 because we had the kids and we had to stop. We went to parks and all the things, made it an adventure. I was like, yay! One of my greatest joys is sitting in a vehicle with my laptop because the kids are occupied. Gabriel's driving. I can get so much done. Guess what happened? I think I shared it. I couldn't do anything. My laptop stopped working. I could not do anything. So I had to sit and sit. Couldn't distract myself. Couldn't run from anything. Couldn't hide from anything. Couldn't go make another latte. Couldn't go for a walk to distract myself. I had to sit, just sit. And I was like, oh my God. So, like based on everything you all just described, if you got to sit with that, most of the time we can like get distracted. I had to sit with it. But it was the greatest thing because in the sitting with it, the contemplation of it, it gave me an opportunity to tune back into my soul's blueprint because I could feel like something was changing. All of you are feeling that something is changing, and it is. Humanity is waking up like I've never seen before. This isn't like this spiritual journey path is not new to Gabriel and I. This has been our life's journey. There was a time when no one was really awake. No one was talking about this stuff. And it was like, you're a weirdo. That's strange. That's unusual, right? Now we can talk about all the things. Everywhere we go, we can talk about all the things because of the awakening of consciousness. Now, when consciousness awakens, it opens up the conversation for what am I really here for? What is my bigger purpose? What is my soul telling me? How am I being rearranged? My life is being rearranged. My steps are being rearranged. Everything is being reordered, reconfigured. But there's a moment where it feels a little unsettling when that's about to happen. So for all of you that have felt that, you're right on time. You're actually right on time. You're right on time with the collective. You're right on time with the bigger expansion. You're right on time with those of you that are light leaders that are like here to really elevate the planet and lead through even just your life and who you are. You're right on time. And so through that, this is where if you could just stop and listen, you don't have to go on a 4-day road trip, okay? However, take a little bit of time, create a little bit of time every day this week, especially this week because we're in this really sacred container together, to really drop in and listen to your soul. Listen to Creator. Listen to your higher self. Really listen to the voice of what your soul is saying. Okay. So there's space there where Gabriel's going to run you through a practice. And the name of that practice is the voice of your soul practice. The voice of your soul. The voice of your soul. So Gabriel's going to walk you through this practice. Yes.
Yes.
And for those of you, if you're strong visualizers, great. If you aren't a strong visualizer, just think it. Thinking it into existence is the same as visualizing it into existence. Okay, so he's going to help you tap into the voice of your soul and then create space for you to just listen. All right?
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right where you are, just begin to relax the body firstly. And when I say relax the body, what I mean is allow the body to sink into the surface that you're on so that you feel the weight almost pressing down. The spine is still straight, but the structure itself is at ease. It's relaxed, it's sinking, and there's minimal tension. Relax the toes and the bases of the feet, the tops of the feet and ankles, shins and calves. Relax the knees and the soft area behind them, the quads and hamstrings, groins, pelvis and glutes. Relax the tummy and the lower back. Feel the lower back open like a flower whose petals are unfolding. Relax the mid back, make it nice and wide. The upper back and that scapular region is relaxed and the chest is open. As you open the chest, you'll feel the spine move forward a bit. That's great. Let the shoulders relax, triceps, biceps, elbows, forearms, the wrists, palms, fingers, fingertips, thumbs. And now the arms are like logs hanging down, pulling on the collarbones, which relax as well. The neck is relaxed, and as the neck relaxes, it floats on the spine. So the spine is straight, the neck is straight and relaxed, the jaws are relaxed. The back of the head relaxed. Lips, cheeks, nostrils, nose, nasal cavity, sinuses, all relaxed. The ears are relaxed. The forehead is tranquil, serene, clear, relaxed. And the scalp is relaxed. With a command, using your own inner voice along with mine, relax. And now with the next breath you take, follow that breath inwards. And then continue to let the breath pass you by as you're centered and relaxed. The body's relaxed, the mind is clear. Now gently begin to feel within yourself the desire that's within you. The desire for the next experience, the desire for a higher feeling, a higher vibration, a higher knowing of yourself. Just get in contact with what that is. What is it that you really want to experience? Now, as I say that, immediately you might have the reasons why it can't happen pop up to your mind. What I'd like you to do with those is on your next exhale, just feel them moving out on the breath like a mist and moving into the air. And then move yourself back into the space where this pure desire is, where it lives. And begin to listen. Listen carefully. If you haven't heard it as yet, listen. Listen within yourself to hear what that desire really is. What does it bring to you? What do you feel? What do you feel when you're present to that desire? Now, again, the mind might pop up and give you an idea of disappointment. Breathe it out. Let it go. Get back and listen again. Listen attentively. Listen like a secret is being spoken to you internally. And ask yourself, What is my true call? What is my true call? What is this purpose? What is my purpose? And then in that space, receive, listen, listen. Now the mind might do something again. If it does anything to distract you or to pull you off, just go ahead and again exhale that energy, exhale the form of that, and come right back in and listen again. Just listen. Now, you may not receive a definite message. If you don't, feel what the feeling is that you're receiving. And as you feel, you might see an image, you might have an idea, you might think about something that's at that level. Just feel, and breathe. And now that you've received it, in your center, in this space that you're breathing, I'd like you to start to feel the presence of something glowing, something wonderful, a radiant light. Golden is best, but if you have that white light idea, work with it as well. Mix that white with gold and feel the presence of that beautiful energy that is supportive, that is within you. Feel the presence of that surrounding the image or the feeling of this idea, of this desire, of this purpose. Realizing that your desire is leading you to the fulfillment of your purpose. So feel all of that as one beautiful thing covered in this light. And let that begin to permeate your being, to permeate the body, to permeate the field that you're sitting in. The aura around you is filled with this energy. Feel it lighting up the space. If there's anything that pops up again that feels like it could be a barrier or shows up in your field, just let that light move through that space, right? And clear it. Feel yourself moving into it in a more definite way. Feel yourself receiving it more definitely. Feel it running through your system, through your electrical system, through your body, through your cells, just like you get goosebumps. Feel that running through the surface of the skin. Feel it running through the bloodstream. Feel it vibrating within the spine and through the entire system. Feel it in the breath as you inhale, and you can inhale deeply into the body, filling the body with it. And let it land. Take a second to really let it sink in, to write it into the space, to write it into you. Clarity will come, but feel it for now. Feel it, feel it. And then gently start to make your way forward a bit. Feel the wiggling of the fingers and the toes. Feel it anchoring. And then gently make your way into the eyes, where you can either pop them open or place your hands over them and then gently let the light in. And we go forward from here. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
We'd love to hear how you're feeling. And again, I highly recommend, as we wrap up here in the next couple minutes, I highly recommend that you sit in that space or come back and listen to that meditation, activation, that visualization every day this week. Just like I sat in the truck every day for 4 days and I couldn't do much else. Bit by bit, piece by piece, the more I opened and the more I let go, which we're going to do a lot of letting go tomorrow. Okay, we're going to clear, we're going to remove obstacles, we're going to do all of that tomorrow. What I would recommend for today is to do the homework soul work in the boxes above, and even for 5 minutes. This is something Gabriel and I learned. Many of you know this because you watched when we were on camera, when we brought our business online 6 years ago. We had the babies were little, the twins were little. And I was on camera breastfeeding, baby after baby after baby after baby after baby. It was just like ping pong, right? And in that space, we learned that a 5-minute dropping in was just as powerful as 20 or 30 minutes. So even if you're busy, even if you've got a lot on the go, it's the intention and the focus of you being able to say, me uncovering my soul's whisper, my soul's purpose, the truth, capital T, is worth 5 minutes. It has to be worth it to you. We can guide it and facilitate it, but it has to be worth it to you. So if it is worth it to you, then I would say dedicate. Yes. And let us know in the comments if you're going to dedicate and choose this. Yes. Type yes in the comments if you're choosing this for yourself. Yes. My purpose, my soul alignment is so worth it that I will choose 5 minutes a day just to rest and reconnect to my soul, just like Gabriel facilitated and walked you through. Yes. I love seeing it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. This is so good. Yes. I choose. Yes. This is important because when you say yes, it echoes out. It echoes into the field. It echoes to your higher self. It echoes out to your soul self. And it's like, okay, I hear you. Yes, 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 yes. And then your soul goes, yes, I hear you. Now let's give back. We're going to talk about reciprocity on day 5. But this begins the reciprocity. What you do now is going to set the tone for what happens over this week. So that when we get to day 5, when we talk about reciprocity, you're going to be like, I put in the energy. I showed up. I said yes. And I get to receive it all now. There's a buildup and there's a building, right? Just like we walk a path, just like I sat in the vehicle for 4 days. It was so much fun, but I had to sit with myself. And it was a sitting to release, to receive. Then all of a sudden, the moment we got here, it all just went and it came in. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what I need to do. I have such clarity right now. But that came from me dedicating, yes, I'm going to show up for myself. Yes, I'm going to do this practice. Yes, I'm going to listen to my soul. Okay. Yes. All right. Last page that's there for you. These are your truths. Now you can use this page throughout this week. If there's certain truths that land for you, use this page and space to write the truths. I am a big advocate of truths because there's a lot of BS in the world. I like truths and I like honest conversation. So share your truths about your purpose that are coming forward. And one truth that we will share with you here is that your purpose, it can be fulfilled on your own. However, it's a lot more fun when you're fulfilling it with others. It's a lot more fun when you're fulfilling your purpose with others. So know that everything that you are doing here, those of you in Thrive or have been in Thrive or Light Leadership, you know this saying, when you heal the one, you heal all. It's the same thing. When you activate your purpose, you're actually activating for all those that are around you. So yes, you can fulfill your purpose on your own, and it's much more fun when you're in this sort of a space and you're doing this together, also knowing what you do here is going to have an impact on those in your life. You're going to watch other people in your world be like, oh, I've just been really thinking about my purpose a lot lately. And you're like, okay, okay, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just want to say one way that you could see that in your life already, most likely, if you're a person that like you have family or you have a lot of friends that are together with you, there's a certain power that comes from being in a collective, right? I could say it for me, basically, with my family, like coming back here and seeing my family has been grand because
It's been so emotional.
it's a thing when you're like on an island, you're going it alone and you're doing your thing by yourself. You do it still, right? But it takes that much energy to do on your own. But then when you have a tribe behind you and you know that, hey, everything I do, these people, these are the people, these are the faces, this is the energy that I come from. I belong to something. That feeling of belonging that you feel, it does lend power to whatever you're taking on. And that's how a community really works, right? It's like you're not going it alone. It gives you that much more conviction in everything you undertake and everything you do. And that strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So for those of you that want to come have some fun in the purpose party with us, the purpose after party, go to the Facebook group. Alexandra, if you could post the link to the group, that would be awesome. Day 1, here's what we want you to do if you want to come and have some fun. Okay. And this is all going to be part of you building and creating pieces of what we're calling your purpose puzzle. Okay, so this week me, all of us, we're all going to be building our purpose puzzle. And so what we want you to do day one is take a picture of you in your passions, in your creativity. Like, for example, Gabriel might take a picture of him playing pickleball with all these pros, right? Or just playing pickleball in general and post it in the group. I might take a picture of me swimming because I love to swim, and especially the pool here is like salt water. I might take a picture of just playing with the kids. I love just being with the kids and playing. I actually like working. So I might even take a picture of me doing work. Like, I like creating things. I love being on Canva. So take a picture of you in your passions, doing the thing that you love, and post it in the group. We want to blow up the page, okay? And we want to see you guys fully in your play. And if you would like to receive a little gift, a little something to make it tangible, like you're actually building a puzzle, message Alexandra and say first puzzle piece.
Ooh.
First puzzle piece. Okay, so that, Alexandra, can you just say hi so everybody can see you again?
Hey, I know I wanted to pop in anyways and say I've posted the link a couple of times. So for those of you who might not be in our larger Facebook group, if you click through that link, you join that big, beautiful community. There's so many other things that happen in that space and place. But it's the easiest way. So when Tara says like, message me, that's where like we know each other. Facebook is this like really big, abundant space. So as much as I want to think I can find y'all on there,
Yeah.
can't. Sometimes I can't. I don't know who's who, right? I don't know
Yeah.
which Ricky is Ricky. I know Ricky though, but I'm using her because I just saw her face. So it's super helpful. So that way you can connect with me this week, and any prompts that Tara's giving you guys to send me a message, it's the easiest place for us to connect and
Yes.
for me to be able to share those resources. So if you need that link, it's here in the chat. And then from there, you can find me on Messenger, and then we can go ahead and support you
Yeah.
with all those resources.
Awesome. Can you post it again right now, Alexandra?
Yeah,
So
that
yeah.
I can see it.
And then just message Alexandra and say first piece of the puzzle. Okay. And then she's going to send you something that you can use, that you can print out if you want. And we're going to build this together. And there's going to be, I wrote down when Gabriel was in, we're doing this real time with you. So I don't have like the pieces of the puzzle, they're blank, because I'm tuning into the energy. When he was facilitating, I tuned in. I was like, okay, this is the first piece of the puzzle. And I wrote it down. And then we're going to gift that to you, and then you can do what you want with it. All right. And then we'll have different pieces of the puzzle each day. Yes. Can someone have access to the Facebook group without joining Facebook? I think so. If for whatever reason you're not on Facebook, find her on Instagram or email her. Okay. If you're not on social media at all, send Alexandra an email. The email to use is
I'm going to
team.
share our team. I'm going to share it in the chat, Tara. Go ahead.
team@academyoflight.ca. And make sure that you guys save those emails, because there's so much going to spam these days. Like, people just aren't seeing emails and they're wondering why. And it's just because everything is so super picky these days. So things are just landing in spam. Yeah. So team@academyoflight.ca is the best email to use. And so if you're not on social media, you can message her there. Yeah. Awesome. Have such a great day today. We're so excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to clean house. We're going to give you a really powerful practice that's going to help you flip the energy as well and really start to clear some of the obstacles that come up. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. So, so grateful. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.